Shabbat Shalom. So let's see over the years how well you have picked up the different halachot of the sacrifices. Should be easy, right? We read Vayikra every year. Vayikra is very detailed in its description of the sacrifices. And we get a repeat of some of the sacrifices later on, especially in the book of Vayikra. This should be an easy quiz, right? Right. Good. Let's start with something easy and immediate. The Zevach Pesach, the sacrifice of Pesach. When do we offer that? The day before Pesach. Ding, ding, ding. Right. So Passover time, absolutely. We eat it on Passover, but the offering itself happens the day that we would call, we're going to have the evening Seder, that day is when we do the offering. Sorry for the loud buzzer noises. But want to make sure that we are all focused here. It's not quite so simple, perhaps. All right, let's try something perhaps a little bit more generic. When do we offer the Tamid offering, the daily sacrifice? Daily. Very good. We offer it in the morning each day. Morning each day. That one is not such a problem. You could have been wrong. You could have said it was only occasional or every minute of the day. After all, the word Tamid means always. So there were a few options on that. Good for you, exactly. You get a gold star. Okay. What about a chatat offering, a sin offering? When you sin. And when you recognize that you sin.
When unconsciously you said, non-purposely you didn't realize that the sin is there, you
Exactly. There are differences between the sacrifices for sins that were committed intentionally or consciously and sins that were committed completely by accident. When you had no idea that what you were doing was a sin or that what you were doing was what you were doing, there are separate sacrifices for each of those. All right, not so bad, not so bad. What about a shlamim sacrifice? Zevach shlamim. That is the well-being sacrifice we saw in the first part of our Torah reading today. It is also called the peace offering, depending if you are using an older translation. When do we offer that one?
When we have something to celebrate.
When we have something to celebrate. So, can you give me an example? When you have a new child in the family. Actually, there are separate sacrifices that are done specifically for the mother when she has recovered from the trauma of childbirth, but not necessarily. If you have a child and you do not bring a shlamim offering, the actual zevach shlamim, you have not missed anything. And that's to say you have not failed in your obligation. In fact, there is no time we are obligated to bring a shlamim offering. It is the most voluntary category of sacrifices in the entire Torah. There isn't a set time, the same way that there is for a holiday offering, a daily offering, a mincha offering, a sin offering. It's just when you are, according to Rabbi Shimon, when you are feeling shalem, when you are feeling complete, when you are feeling whole, when you are content, then you bring the shlamim offering. Or in other words, never. I just want you to savor that for a moment because it's a really very, very important concept that I'm going to be beating to death over the next few minutes. But how many of you on a regular basis, no show of hands because I don't want to embarrass, how many of you on a regular basis think that you feel whole and complete and perfectly content? That you would be able to say, I am shalem. I am peaceful right now. I do. So few, maybe. What percentage of the people, percentage of the life do you think actually achieve that? Probably pretty small, if we're going to be honest. And yet the Torah has written into its many laws and codes the idea that this would be a common enough occurrence that it gets its own category. And in fact, there are self-sacrifices that go into more specifics than what you might be feeling content about. Beggars' imaginations. Was this such a problem? Were there so many people lining up outside the Mishkan saying, boy, I feel great and perfect and at peace with myself and the world. Where can I offer a sacrifice to say thank you for this? Did they have an epidemic of contentment that they needed to have this as a category? Because I think that most of us would imagine that in our modern contemporary world, given by the amount of griping, complaining, and other problems that people seem to express, that this would be a rarely used sacrifice, if at all.
Okay, I'm a little confused there. Because we have the Shekinah, which says there are priceless moments in your life where you thank God for being alive and being there. And would that be an appropriate,
Is that an appropriate analog?
yeah.
So the Shekinah does not actually say, I am feeling complete and whole and content.
It's just when I'm here.
It's just saying, thank God I'm still alive at this moment.
Yeah.
I think I would argue that that is not quite the exact same level of contentment that the Shlamim is going for in this sacrifice. That is more a hang in there, it's almost Friday kind of motivational poster. Right? You know what? You've made it at least a Passover. And yeah, things aren't great. Yeah, things aren't perfect. Yeah, your life may still be a shambles. But celebrate that moment of accomplishment, of reaching this moment, and we'll move on to what happens next after this. So it is definitely the Shekinah is savoring those moments for what they are, but in no way does it claim that everything, the totality, is content, is complete, is whole, is harmonious. Nowhere does it seem to be indicating that when we say the Shekinah. It is the small cheer. It is not the grand sigh of satisfaction. And I'm noticing that this is giving a lot of clicking noises. And I'm not trying to speak in a different dialect. I'm trying to see if I can sort that out so it's not clicking quite so much. Okay. Still moving every time I move my jaw. All right, so, it's just the way of the world, and I will be content with it. So, so this then brings us to the ultimate question, which is the Shlamim offering then only going to celebrate those infinitesimally few moments and people that are able to achieve this level of contentment? Or is it meant to cause a feeling of contentment? Is the Shlamim offering a response to how we already feel in this sense of perfect completeness? Or is it meant to move us from a partial feeling, and there must be some trigger after all to make us want to bring this offering in the first place, to a more fulfilled sense afterwards? And there's a couple of details of the Shlamim that imply that it is meant to be a bridge, taking us from partial to complete wholeness. The most important is that the Shlamim, the offerings that are brought under this category, are famous for being offerings that are shared. There are some offerings that are eaten only by the person who brings it, in addition to whatever is turned into smoke on the altar. And there are some offerings that are eaten only by the Kohanim, that are eaten by the priests that officiate or shared amongst them. And there are some offerings that are completely consumed by the fire and not eaten by anyone. But the Shlamim, very strikingly, is shared. The person who brings it, and the person who offers it, and those that are participating in the offering, they sit down and they have lunch together. They eat the bulk of the offering in a shared meal. Now, why would this be helping to bring us to that sense of contentment and completeness? I mean, after all, if I am sharing with someone else, I am, by definition, being diminished. Am I not? By definition, if I have 100 pounds of lamb, and I share 50 pounds of lamb with the Kohanim, how many pounds of lamb do I have left? 50! Bing! There's your gold star for the day. I'm not less. How can I say that I am whole if I have literally just given away a large portion of something that is probably quite precious? And times when the sacrifices were being offered. Meat was not a common food. Anyone riddle me that?
Well, you're giving things, and as a result of sharing things, and so you're being beneficial to those that are communing with you.
So by sharing, I am benefiting others, and that actually has a more additive effect on me than a diminishing one. By sharing, I am making a proclamation to myself, as well as to others, that in fact I have enough to share. Because remember, there is no obligation to bring a shlamim sacrifice. I can sit at home, slaughter my lamb by myself, and eat the entire thing in one sitting, letting no one else share it. That is perfectly legal. It's not very nice, and you probably sick of lamb, but it is perfectly legal as far as Jewish law goes. There's no requirement that you bring a shlamim offering and then that you sacrifice. However, if you wish to feel close to other people, if you wish to feel that in doing so you are celebrating what God has given us as the guidance of how to live our life and how to value our life, then the shlamim offering allows you to incorporate all of those aspects in one moment. And to do so in a way where you are sharing under this official capacity, which proclaims to yourself as well as to the world, the amount of meat that I own is less important than who I share what I have with. Because what is the measure of my life and its completeness is not the measure of what is in my storehouse and what is in my barn and what is in my flocks or what is in my bank account or in my retirement fund. The measurement of my completeness is how I am living my life, is how content I am with the way that I conduct myself in my life. And that is measured by the actions I do that are full of chesed and tzedek, that are full of kindness and justice, that are full of love and full of generosity, that are full of the mitzvot of the Torah. And by bringing this offering, I am taking myself from a place where I am happy and proud of what I have built materially, and I am transforming it into something that is intangible, into the smoke on the altar, the true essence of what my gift is, symbolized through the meat, in a way that reminds me that what I have is less important than what I do. That what I achieve in the material world, what I make with my hands, what I carve into my own symbol of greatness, is not important at all for feeling content. A person can chase promotion after promotion after promotion after promotion and even achieve them and never feel content. Another can sit at the bottom rung of whatever industry they are in, but feel a sense of pride and satisfaction from doing the job properly and well, of knowing that it benefits others around them and themselves and their family in a deeper way than merely increasing the profit margin of their company, and feel perfectly at peace with themselves and their place in the world. Another person can pursue having the best number of followers, the best Instagram account, the most opulent display of a lifestyle that will make others greedy and green with envy, and never feel that they have enough. And someone else can simply share, I'm so happy that I was able to get up today. And I feel complete and whole, simply in opening my eyes this morning and seeing another day. And it doesn't matter whether they are living in a house that needs a lot of repairs, or whether they are not exactly enjoying the rich life, they will feel nonetheless complete and whole and content. They will feel shalem. They will feel that wholeness. This is what the shlamim offering was trying to tell us. This is what the Torah portion as a whole, and the Haftarah is trying to tell us. Indeed, what the Torah as a whole is trying to tell us. Yes, we need a certain minimum amount of sustenance to keep ourselves alive. We need a roof over our head. We need food in our belly. Absolutely. But that is not what makes us content and complete. And certainly going beyond that minimum does not increase the likelihood that we are going to feel at peace. Instead, it is how we approach our life and how we choose to guide our actions. How we choose to share what we have by recognizing that what we have is there to share. By recognizing that what we have is only a means to be able to fulfill the mitzvot, to fulfill the spiritual reminds us that our life was not about our material accomplishments. And that indeed, in the long arc of eternity to which we will all eventually enter, it is not going to be our material accomplishments which accompany us at the storehouse of our treasure. They say nobody gets out of here alive. And what you take from this life, the offerings that you have made, the sacrifices that you have made, are not going to be the vacation homes that you have bought. They're not going to be the piles of jewelry that you have got. They're not going to be the wonderful accolades you have received from your colleagues for having raised the profit 3% this year. It's going to be what you actually did with your days. Who you shared them with, the blessings that you recognized, and the gratitude that you felt. This is what shapes the soul in its journey through this world. And this is the part of us that will continue beyond this world into Olam Haba, into the world to come. And if we neglect that, if we never feel that we are truly content, if we never feel that we could at this moment offer our Shlamim offering, then there is something in desperate need of repair, in desperate need of work. As we prepare for Pesach during this coming year, or during this coming week, Pesach for this year, during this coming week, please recognize that there may still be parts of yourself trapped in the land of Egypt, trapped in that veneer of the pyramids, the idols, the gold, the Nile flood, and all of its wealth, all of that material gold, which seems to be the purpose of our existence. And set it aside the same way you set aside the comings. Clean it from yourself and be free of its bondage and the slavery that it imposes upon you. And recognize that God took us from a land of plenty into a land of nothing. And yet there in Sinai, we were enriched beyond measure with riches that continue to deliver and will do so for all time. Shabbat Shalom.